Marty, good morning, my friend. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Good morning. What's going
What's
on?
going on, pal? What's going on, pal? We have a big day today in the lab. It is Odie Friday. It is live in the lab. Mornings in the lab Friday. It's Flow Fridays, Marty. It's pull the hair out and rock and roll Fridays here today in the lab. Looking forward to inviting a ton of people in the show today. We got Louderman sitting in the green room. We got Turner sitting in the green room. We got Woodhams sitting in the green room. We got Achim sitting in the green room. And I think, Marty, Krasky's just getting up right now. So Krasky's going to join us here in the morning to help us launch this morning.
No, he's not a morning guy. he's not a morning guy.
No, he's not a morning guy. He's going to be this is John Krasky in the morning.
There we go. Good morning, this is John Krasky in the morning.
What's that? That's it. Oh, there we go. Yes, Sarvina, beautiful weather here in Winnipeg, Canada. It's sunny in Maryland. It's raining here in Manitoba today. Marty's got the flex out, which is rocking and rolling. So hey, we got a big show today. We're here to launch the Odie song coming up later on in the hour. I'm doing that like old school TV, Marty. So if y'all thinking that I'm going to launch the show right now, I'm going to launch the song right now. No, you got to wait. You got to wait. You got to hang around for the hooks. You got to wait for a number of minutes. So I'm thinking in the last segment, around the 45, 50-minute mark of the show, boom, the Odie song. Just enough time for Snoop to get out of bed and rolling up and join the show, Marty.
Looking forward to it.
Just enough time. So I am going to get right at it. And I think we're just going to bring people into the lab, Marty, just get the conversation started. What do you think?
Let's do it.
I can just bring people in. Just bring people in and have a good old chit chat or get at her.
It's like the Royal Rumble today.
It is absolutely the Royal Rumble today. Let's bring Louderman in. Let's bring Turner in. We're going to bring Woodhams in and Achim into the lab. Where is my screen, though? Let's see. There's everybody there. Gents up on the vertical. We're going to bring you guys up on the... let's see here. Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. Good job, Jimmy. Gents.
What's up?
Yo, welcome. Yeah, there we go. Gonna bring everybody up there today. That's it. So we've had Achim here this week, Marty. We've had James here this week already. We got Louderman here now. The big music maker. What's going on, guys? And Woodhams, we are still missing you in the vertical feed, just so you know. I think you do know. Woodhams, do you know that? Gotcha. Okay, cool. So we'll have you hang out in the vertical. No, I'm sorry, in the horizontal. Not a problem at all. But hey, what's going on, guys? Let's get the conversation going. Louderman, where are you joining us from today, pal?
From my wonderful studio here in Mainz, Germany, which is I always call it the original Silicon Valley, because this is where the Gutenberg press is from. So
oh, no kidding, eh?
Spread of information kind of started from here, I guess. It's just outside of Frankfurt, like 30 miles. Yeah, and it's just a great joy to be and see everyone face to face, just hang out together.
Dude, we've been working on this for a long time, Louderman. Like, you've been working on this forever.
Forever. I wasn't on LinkedIn till March, but forever, yeah.
So how did the Odie song come together, Chris?
So basically, John, I was just in March, 1st of March, I decided, okay, I'm going to take this LinkedIn game a bit seriously. I had this idea for the brand story songs. I can go back there, or I can tell how the conversation with John got started. Which do you want to hear first? The backstory, the origin.
Let's set it up. Set up the backstory for me, pal.
Okay, so the origin story is basically, all my life I've been either in marketing and or music. That's kind of like my professional life has always been in those two. And I've never really found the way to bring it together in a cohesive way. And last year I was out in LA with a client, helping him with his marketing strategy. And we were talking about a specific pain point that felt way too edgy to communicate
to
the mass audience. But we felt, well, if we wrote it in a song, it might actually... The barriers might go down, the defensiveness you could do way more tongue-in-cheek, have way more humor about it. And that was just like the seed being planted, but it was kind of a bamboo shoot because it started sprouting quite quickly then. And that's when I noticed, hold on, jingles have basically died since the 90s. Like ever since Apple dropped the Think Different, jingles have just more or less vanished in the next 5 to 7 years after that. The only ones who still managed to really level up that game were McDonald's in a way. You know, the da-da-da-da-da, that's still around. But it's the only, it's like the only major player, maybe Intel with the dum-dum-dum-dum, you know, the audio logo that they have.
Yes.
Apart from that, Think Different was dropped in the 90s in a context of everyone has a jingle. And every jingle sounds the same, and they're all the happiest and greatest thing ever in the world, and everyone felt it was fake. And then Apple basically came along and said, we're not having any of that nonsense, and everyone follows the leader. Nike doesn't do that thing, and suddenly branding just thinks, well, audio is just there to set a mood. The problem there is you kind of get into the situation where you don't own any acoustic real estate anymore. You don't have any assets that are recognizably you. And the problem there is that audio is, like, music is the language of emotions. And if you want to sell something, you need to basically dial in the emotions. Like, and so there's this mismatch. You're not owning the sound. Anyone can basically use the sample libraries that all the advertisers are using. So you're not owning a distinct sound. And that became clearer and clearer to me. So my question was, first of all, is the time ripe again? Because everyone's just got mood music. So, and things go in waves, right? So maybe there's an opening for a new form of the jingle. And I identified the other big problem with the jingle, besides them all sounding like the pre-Max Martin era of music production, right? They all sounded like this really old school, I don't know, that production sound that no one listens to anymore.
Yeah.
But the other problem was just the lyrics were all just so fake and weren't talking to pain points at all, right? They were just like, we're the greatest thing ever, guys. Everyone's happy because my detergent exists, right? That kind of thing. And so my theory was, well, good copywriting makes the reader feel good, understood, right? And you feel understood if someone can articulate your pain. So if we do that in the verses of a song, and then have the solution in the chorus, right? Then it actually, and put it into a well-produced, great song to listen to, that your ideal customer will resonate with that and actually want to connect with that. And then you can spin off all the great other audio assets that you have in sonic branding as the sound palette, like the SFX sounds that you can use for an app, for instance, or you have like a hook or logo that you can use for like UGC, you know, like we all know the TikTok sound, you know, at the end of a TikTok video. You can use those for your own branding, and that way you can create those associations with your brand that will just increase brand call drastically. So that was all going on in my mind. And John, at a time when John said, well, I want to start a LinkedIn reality TV show or a newsletter. You know, he was just sharing some of his thoughts as he does. And I just dropped in the comments, well, then you need a theme song, right? And next thing I know, he's in my DMs sending me his Calendly link. And I'm like, what on earth's going on here? I just started being active on LinkedIn this month, right? And we hop on a call, and he's just gracious and really fun to be with. And I just said, well, what kind of music do you like? And he says, well, I just want it to be smooth. That's the thing to me. And I'd seen a few of his videos before, and he was always doing the Thomas Woodhams Odie shout out.
Yeah.
And so I thought, well, okay, it's the Odie community. Someone had dropped the name Odie fans in the comments. I just thought it was hilarious. And that's when I felt, well, maybe this is a good way to get the conversation going about sonic branding, about using audio for selling and marketing and community, building communities, right? So I did a shout out on LinkedIn. I connected with some people who were in the comments, Achim, James, and other gracious, wonderful people. And that's kind of how the ball got rolling and this song came into existence.
That's awesome. Hey, we're discussing how music can elevate your brand to the next level with Christopher Lautemann. We got the Odie song launching today, guys, on LinkedIn, YouTube. We got James Turner, Achim, CMartyFit, Thomas Woodhams. We're all sitting here having a good conversation around music. Gents, I'm going to throw the question out to the round table here right now. So as you're hearing Christopher, and Anybody to put their hand up to go first? As you heard Christopher talking about music and branding, and he makes a statement of like music branding has largely died. And when you hear him say that, do you all like myself have that collective? Yeah, it actually has. Like, I don't recall the last time I've heard like memorable jingles back when old guy was growing up again. Now, I think the second oldest guy on the call here probably is maybe Achim. I'm thinking, yeah. Achim's like, yeah, okay, I'm the second oldest guy.
I'm probably the oldest.
But gents on the call here, you know, and Marty, you know, you're a bit on the younger demo. Are jingles relevant to you, Marty? And I'll go back to Kim next. Are jingles relevant to you, Marty? Do you get jingles, or you're like, what the hell is a radio, like a music jingle?
Not now. You know, maybe when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like Christopher brought up the McDonald's song. You know, a couple other brands. I can probably got to give me a second to think of them. But right now, I don't think so.
No, they're gone, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kim, what's your thoughts on this too?
So yeah, no, I mean, and jingles were huge when I was, again, a kid, which was like ages ago. I don't know if you guys, if you're in Canada, I don't, if you remember Woodward's department store. Remember that, Woodward's? And they had something called $1.49 Day, and when there was a whistle.
Yes.
Remember that?
I do.
And so yeah, you don't hear that stuff anymore. But those are catchy. I still remember that whistle, like from when I was like 6, right? So, but you know, it's funny what like audio branding or sonic branding is what Christopher's talking about is it's something that I use all the time when I'm doing a brand pitch. So when I do a brand pitch, I create a movie of how the brand lives, and I use a song. Typically, it's a song that's already known. It doesn't go into the public domain. It's only for a very captive audience. So, but when I do the pitch and I do the presentation and I play the movie, it's typically about maybe 2 minutes. You just get people going, "Oh my God!" I actually had one woman when we did this to a client.
Yeah,
she was crying. Right?
Really?
Yeah, she was crying because it just resonated so much with her. Right?
Because you unlock that emotion in her, right? Yeah.
The only way you can do that, and Christopher is right, is the only way you can do that is through multiple touch points, in multiple emotional touch points. So obviously visuals is one, written words is another thing, and then audio, right? So, and you combine those things together, motion, visuals, text, and then audio, you put that all together, it just creates a powerful brand message.
Yes, yeah.
I'd like to just butt in for a second there, because I even have a very bold thesis on that. I think that audio is actually more impactful creating the emotion than the visual. And I have a case in point that I'd like. So imagine watching a scary movie, but the sound is just, anytime something scary happens, it's just a fart noise.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be a comedy immediately in your mind.
Yes.
It's like the guy comes into the shower scene, you know, in Psycho, and it's just, you know, instead of you know, that, like, you just laugh. It's just ridiculous. If you just listen to the sound, you don't have the visuals, you're going to be scared listening to that stuff. And so the emotions are stronger in correlation to the sound than actually in correlation to the visuals, I'd argue.
And you're spot on, because if you think about back in the day, like say in the 30s and 40s, when radio shows were huge, sound effects and the sound themes were really big. But it was a huge part of creating the imagination, right?
Yeah.
So I can tell you that there's somebody tuning in right now that when the McDonald's jingle shows up, William Ray runs to the.
Come on, Will. Come on, man.
He runs.
Come on, Will. You got to do better than that, Will.
Will, man, we saw your note yesterday. So, hey, team, Will had a tough day yesterday, and he posted on his 365 Uncut challenge yesterday. He was vulnerable. He was awesome. I knocked on his door first thing this morning. I said, Will, it's shaking, man. We got your back. Go get it today. Just that's what we do here in the lab, right? We try to get people moving, try to get them going in the right direction, and just, you know, make people feel loved and feel supported. And Will, we got your back, man, just like McDonald's has your back. So don't forget that good old jingle will get you racing to the French fries drawer. McDonald's done a wonderful job with sonic branding over the years, haven't they, Louderman?
It's incredible. Like, they actually, like, the difference there is they own an asset. It's actually like it goes up in value. Like it's valuable. it's like the two arches. It's a valuable asset to have. Whereas I think that's one of the huge distinctions. Like, we can't think of anything that Burger King owns in the auditory realm, whereas McDonald's, obviously, we all know I'm loving it, right? So I don't even know the Burger King slogan at the moment, because they keep switching it up, and I think that's a huge challenge for creatives, because every creative wants to just try out new stuff. But if you want to own an audio asset, then you need to hammer it home for a few years. Then you can start doing remixes. You can do new instrumentations around that. We've all heard the McDonald's melody in all types of instrumentation, all types of beats, we always recognize it's the McDonald's asset, right? It's an old, yeah, definitely. They're incredible.
Well, and Chris, just to jump in here, like you're touching on something really, really, really key here when it comes to branding. When brands are emotional, that's when you create loyalty, right? Because that's when you create that pull, right?
Yes.
So without emotion, a brand is really just, just nothing.
Yeah.
It's true. And it's funny because a lot of people think, I got my logo set up, I got my color set up, there's my brand. No, actually, you're just some orchestrated design on a piece of paper with nothing behind it. Yep. So we know branding is much more than that. But we also know, gentlemen, it's this time in the show, Jimmy. Oh, no, it's this time in the show, Jimmy, where we're going to do this. And I'm going to do this. Whoop, Marty. It's time to dance. Yep. It's time to shake it up, guys. It's that time in the show where we like to hold y'all accountable. So, Jimmy, I'm going to pull the pokes off the screen on the horizontal. And you're going to pull them off on the vertical. And we are going to focus for a few moments, team, for a few moments, nation, on one thing. One thing. And it is this whole idea that music, it's the universal language that keeps us all accountable. It's true. It's like that one language, whether you're in America, whether you're in Canada, whether you're down under, whether you're at the future, music's the universal language. It keeps you motivated. It keeps you accountable. It connects us, nation. It connects us beyond words. You can wake up with your song anywhere in the world and it's going to transcend borders, ages, beliefs. It lifts your mood. It gives you hope. It eases the pain. Music, the soundtrack to life, it inspires you. Think of music. Think of a moment without music. And as Louderman talked about, think about a scary movie without sound effects. Feels empty, right? Music is emotion. Music, William Ray, helps us get moving, my friend. We don't just hear music, we feel it. So I invite you, as you start your Friday before the long weekend in Canada or next weekend in the United States, put some music in your ears. Write down a goal. Hey, Marty, we're wrapping up January, man. Write down that goal and accomplish it for the rest of the year. There's your accountability check-in. Music, universal language. All right. Jimmy, let's bring the crew back up on stage. Let's continue the dialogue. Let's continue the dialogue around how music and branding and all that stuff. Gentlemen, I talked to music inspiring as transcending borders, a soundtrack of life. How does that kind of resonate for all of you guys as I was talking there for a few moments?
I was thinking about, I was trying to think of Jingles when you were saying, Jingles are dead.
Yeah.
The only thing that I could come up with that stuck in my head was the sound that my washing machine used to make at the end of the cycle. It had this little, it's a Samsung. And when the washing machine died, I was like, should we get another one? And it was mostly because I was like, I'm going to miss that little cheerful sound. So it's like you have to own the thing first to get it. But then once you have it, it's kind of an emotional attachment to an appliance. You know what sound effect really, I remember strongly, is the Nokia jingle. Remember when Nokia, made its way to the world and we were all buying Nokia phones and you turned it on and there was that ding, ding, ding. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it's a very distinct sound effect that to me, Louderman, was really one of those sonic branding experiences as we were moving into a digital world where they just, you turned movies on. I'm sure there's a time in pop culture where that Nokia jingle really just weaved itself through all of us. You guys remember that Nokia jingle?
Well, I find it funny that Apple, is poo-pooing the whole jingle thing, because when you start your Mac, it still has the same sound as it had back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, hold on a second here. When you say poo-pooing the jingle thing, because I know, Louderman, you brought it up. Are you effectively saying Apple has killed the audio jingle, Louderman?
I think they were very strategic about standing out. Obviously, their campaign was Think Different, so they had to embody that in their advertising. And if you look back at the original Think Different ad from 1997, I think, then you're going to notice it's just this, the music is there to set a mood. And at that time of TV advertising, it stands completely out, because everything else is the Mentos Fresh and whatever, like all these jingles that were just going up and down. So I think they did it to differentiate themselves just very clearly. And I also want to make a little distinction, but this is a bit nerd talk. A jingle is not the same as an audio logo or an audio hook in that sense. So Apple has always used the audio logo when you start the Apple. That's true. But a jingle is way more along the lines of like a TV or an ad song, right? So you could also make the distinction saying, well, the da 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 from McDonald's is the logo, whereas the I'm loving it is the jingle, summed up in a few words, right? Just to maybe that makes it clear as well. So they're not against branding. Obviously, Apple are incredible at branding. They just saw a different function at the time for music than everyone else was doing, and it worked for them brilliantly. But back then it stood out, and I'm saying right now you have an opportunity to stand out with being very decisive about using music and lyrics and songs for your branding efforts.
Yeah. Marty, I'm going to come to you in a moment here, but Woodhams, I want to throw something in you, my friend. As I've gotten to know you, I know you're a man of headphones, you're a man of music, you love your tunes, keeps you focused, but let's talk about the importance.
And he's an epic dancer, like busting out the moves, man.
Well, Woodhams is an epic dancer, yes. we need to run a clip of Woodhams spinning on the stage here earlier on in the show, but Woodhams, music influences emotions and behavior. It alters mood, reduces stress. It enhances cognitive performance, creates emotional connection that energizes, relaxes, or motivates. Woodhams, music's a big part of your life, and you and I giggle, on the LinkedIn feeds about squirrels and having some fun about a lot of things. Talk about the importance of music for you. Talk about the importance of how music keeps you focused and how music plays a central role in your life. Woodhams. Oh. Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Marty, I saw you nodding there as he was talking, and I know music plays a big role in your life and with your clients. Music plays a key role in motivation and accountability. It pushes us to achieve goals and stay focused. Upbeat tracks enhance workout performance, calming tunes improve those concentration. Woodhams talked about dopamine production. Marty, talk about how music's been a big part of your life as an athlete, how it's a big part of your life when you're training your clients. Like, I'd like to hear your POV on music and its role in motivation and accountability and branding and so forth, and the importance of music to you, Marty.
Yeah, definitely. So one thing about like being an athlete and then being in the fitness space, the flow state is big. So music helps me get in that flow state. So, a lot of times you might be doing some reps that you don't want to do. The weight might be heavy. It hurts. You don't feel like it. But sometimes when you get in that flow state, you kind of don't think about it. Like this music makes me feel good. This playlist makes me feel good. And then, as far as my branding, right, as you see the shirt, less brunches, more crunches. I have multiple phrases similar to this one, but it's like music kind of inspired that with the rhymes and coming up with different catchy things for my clients, catchy things for a lot of my content that I put out. Keith, you see a lot of my content. I do a lot of like rhyming and catchy wordplay in my content. So music has played a big role in that, and I'm listening to all types of stuff in my workouts, kind of like Woodhams. Like my playlist is all over the place. So, and some days I'm on repeat like Woodhams. I might listen to the same thing every day, like for 3 days in a row. I'm listening to the same song. So I understand 100% Woodhams for sure.
Are we all suggesting Kendrick has a little bit of ADHD when he's in Compton last week playing
Yes.
like 6 times on stage?
Yes.
We need to get
Kendrick understands too.
yeah. We need Kendrick on the show here, and we got to get Snoop on the show. And Krasky, where are you, man? We're all wondering where you are. So, Nation, just so you know, Krasky's got the links. Krasky knows we're here, but it is middle of the night. Although Achim, I think, is thinking to himself, hey, Krasky, I got up. I got my out of bed to come hang out with you, and you're still in bed. So Akim's wondering where Krasky is.
I told you he's not a morning guy. I told you.
He's not a morning guy.
I want to know where Snoop is. I want to know where Krasky is. I want to know. Yeah.
I
friggin' West Coasters. Come on, man.
Coming up in a few minutes, the CMartyFit tip of the day. We're going to weave some music into that conversation as well. But guys, so music is obviously a motivating, accountable thing, but music can also be distracting. Some people are like, turn the music off. Some people are like, it's just I can't get things done with music. And Woodhams, you said something interesting to me where, there's certain tasks you do where music moves you in the right direction. And there's certain tasks where you're like, I can't put music on because it just distracts me. I find that fascinating. Guys, anybody on the call here, does music distract you guys or does music always get you guys through something?
Lyrics. That's my biggest problem is my creativity is usually about words and writing. And so if I'm listening to music lyrics, it just takes my brain away. I can't, it takes me out of the game completely.
100% the same. I listen to a lot of instrumental music for when I'm writing, that kind of thing. I tried listening to like Japanese funk and Korean funk for some time, but then they always throw in some like English phrases now and again. But yeah, just instrumental music when I'm writing, definitely the same. Yeah.
It's funny because some people pay extreme attention to lyrics. Lauren and Brooks, like they just know lyrics off the top of their hand immediately. And I'm like yourself, Turner, where sometimes I'm like, oh, right, there's lyrics.
Yeah. Like I'm like that. When I hear songs, I don't know what they're about. The lyrics will wash over me. But if I'm working, the fact that there are words, even if I don't comprehend them, is enough to just take my brain offline. And I'm
insane when it comes to lyrics. But I think it was my USP, so to speak, because I grew up in Germany. So understanding English gave me well of an edge, right? I was the guy who could understand stuff. Everyone else couldn't understand all the stuff we were listening to. So I think it just fired my brain. I'm super nerdy. I can still probably rap 10 Snoop songs off by heart, like off the top of my head. Like, and all of the Smiths songs, and I don't know. Which one do you want to? One. 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre's at the door, ready to make an entrance. So back on up, there's no about to fuck shit up. Give me the microphone first, like and bust like a bubble. Compton and Long Beach together, now you know you in trouble. Ain't nothing but a G thing, baby. 2 loped out brothers going crazy. The is the label that pays me. Unfadable, so please don't try to fade this. That's enough.
Yeah!
I once won a crate of beer in a bet against a friend. He didn't believe me I could do all of Boys in the Hood by NWA/Eazy-E completely off the top of my head. And it's like a 6-minute song, but okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. If you want to be my lover. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. It's like, studies show that brand recall is 700% higher if you have very good audio recognition. Like, it's how we learned forever, right? It's when we didn't have books or anything, like the Jewish Torah was all sung, right? That's how they passed it on. Like, this is how we remember stuff. Like, we move to it and we chant it or remember it, and that's kind of what our brains are made for. So, yeah, totally with you, Woodhams.
Hey, Woodhams, if you've been around for ages, Woodhams, I've been around for longer than ages, man. And Achim, he's been along even longer than I've been around, I think. So, but hey,
well, in my day.
Hey, Marty, we're coming up with music. Your CMarty music fit here, a fit tip in a second. But before we do that, I'm going to pull up a comment from Will Ray as I pull people off the stage here. Will says, if I'm focused, no songs. If I'm motivating, or if I'm doing something that doesn't involve a lot of brain power, then it's rap or rock. That's exactly. Yeah, I like to throw good old rap in my ears. Obviously, I like my old Marshall Mathers behind the screen there. But Jimmy, we're going to put up the old, there it is. Oops, wrong one. Marty, over to you, my friend.
We got the fitness tip for the day. So today we got make strength training part of your fitness routine. You'll feel the difference. All right. Are you neglecting strength training? This could be why you're not seeing the results you want. I know it's tempting to skip it and just do cardio or other activities, but it could be the reason your progress is slow. Strength training is essential for several reasons. And, just me being a trainer, coming up on 8 years, a lot of people think that cardio is the answer. Just cardio. They think strength training is going to make them a bodybuilder. So some of the reasons strength training is essential for your progress: boost metabolism, increasing muscle mass elevates your resting metabolic rate, helping you burn more calories throughout the day. That's a big one. Enhances bone density. Regular strength training stimulates bone growth, reducing the risk of osteoporosis and fractures. A lot of people don't think about that as we get older. Atrophy kicks in, bones get weaker, and a lot of people they pass away from falling. A lot of older folks. Improves mental health. Exercise-induced endorphins improve mood, reduce stress, and can alleviate symptoms of anxiety and depression. You're at work, you're irritable, you come home mad at everyone for no reason, you should probably start doing some strength training. It'll make you feel better. Supports weight management by building lean muscle. Strength training aids in long-term weight management and fat loss. Long-term results, not a 30-day challenge, not a 2-week challenge. Those might get you some quick results. You'll see a quick change on the scale, but 10 times out of 10, you're going to gain the weight right back. Increases functional strength, enhances your ability to perform everyday activities, and improves athletic performance. Strength training is essential, so if you're missing out, integrate it into your routine, you'll feel the difference. And that's the fitness tip for the day.
Lab. Marty's, listen, we all know cardio is great. Cardio takes care of your heart, Cardio keeps those endorphins going, but you got to lift those weights, nation. You got to get strong. Yep. All right, we're here for the Odie song launch in about 15 minutes or so. We're going to bring it up. But before we do that, we're going to move our conversation, continue the conversation, team. How music can elevate your brand. And Louderman, this is where I really want to shine a light on your expertise and everybody else, you know, that's on the call here on how music can truly elevate your brand. We've talked about how it's been a lost art, sonic messaging, or sonic music, but let's talk about branding and music and how we can effectively use music to elevate a brand, as Achim said, more than just a logo on a piece of paper. Louderman, over to you, my friend.
Well, as I said before, music is the language of emotions. And what you want to do as a branding, anyone who's involved in branding and marketing, you want to create associations with your product, with your brand, right? So now think about what you remember. You remember this, like Woodhams just said, right? The Spice Girls, like, well, that got us emotional back in the 90s. And so we can still remember stuff because we were in an emotionally heightened state. And if we don't utilize the tools that we have at our disposal to elevate emotional states, then we're not going to make an emotional impact, and then we won't be remembered. I mean, that's just that simple. So if you want your brand to connect on a more of an irrational level, right? If it's not just the transactional side of things, where it's like, well, you know, they're 50 cents cheaper than the competitors, so whatever. If you want to escape the price wars, then you need to be different, and to communicate that on an emotional level, because to communicate that on an emotional level, you have to utilize music in a strategic manner. And I'm all about creating like a coherent acoustic identity, a sonic identity, so that every touch point that your ideal client can interact with sounds right to them, you know, and that comes through repetition, that comes through establishing a sonic identity, of course, and it has to fit your identity, it has to fit your ideal client's identity. There has to be this match there, and it needs to communicate the emotional associations you want to bring across. If you're an adventurous type, if your ideal customer comes to you for adventure and excitement and all these things, then we're not going to be using an orchestra in D minor, you know, and a very slow movement. That just doesn't make any sense. So there needs to be this match between the emotional associations. They can be translated into music perfectly, and then start integrating the audio logos, the hooks, have that all considered, the jingle, the sound palette. So if you go to a convention and there's a stand and there's some interactive stuff, then they can have those sounds that are in your music. If it's effects sounds, if it's percussion, whatever, like everything it becomes cohesive that way, and it just becomes an emotionally stringent and cohesive experience.
Louderman, is AI going to change the sonic branding experience because it's going to be so easy for, you know, James wake up one day and say, I'm making a branding song right now. I'm just going to spit it off quickly. Or Woodhams is going to make a sonic experience, or Achim or Marty, or for less brunches, more crunches. Like, is AI music creation going to destroy sonic branding in your point of view, Christopher? Because it's going to be so easy to create lots of noise? Or alternatively, Louderman, is it the opposite, where there's going to be so much sonic noise created that when you create something exceptional like the upcoming Odie song, it's going to stand out?
I think it's both at the same time usually. So I'm guessing there will be a lot of noise. I think this is my gut tells me this is and I'm not just my gut, also conversations I'm having with other people in the branding space and so forth. I think many people are waking up to the fact that audio is like an underutilized art form and for branding, and a huge secret weapon at the moment still. I think people will jump onto that train, and obviously it's good to have an early mover advantage there. And I think AI can be used as any tool sensibly. It can help if you want to, say for instance, you want to understand the musical taste of your ideal audience, you already have a bunch of customers and you can maybe survey them, then you can see, okay, this is, you can run, the data through AI and see, okay, they all like Taylor Swift the most, or whatever it might be, right? Then you can use those tools, and you can obviously use great tools like Suno and so forth to come up with some very good mock-ups. I do think there is a je ne sais quoi about human performance. There is a level of, but it's not necessarily, it's all about orchestrating it and having the vision behind. And I don't think AI can take over that. I think, at least not so with my limited knowledge, right? But I think we're at a point where it can be a very viable tool to also replace expensive like orchestras or etc. that you might wanted to use. But I don't see it like replacing the thing. I think it's going to be a tool that's going to be widely used, and it always depends on who's wielding the tools at the end of the day.
Comments around the table, guys?
I would add to what Chris is saying, and I think he's right. And Chris, like, I think AI in music has kind of been around in a kind of an AI, less of an AI framework as we know it today. But I mean, I think of like audio loops, I think of samples and MIDI, and how you can create, even in something as simple as GarageBand, you can create an orchestra without actually hiring them. So there's that happening. I do that when I do my demos, like I write my own stuff as well. So when I do my demos, I build the song, or I build the idea of the song using stuff like that, right? So what's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, I started out making hip hop beats when I was like 14, 15, and sampling was just the way to go. I mean, that's my music education. I looked at all the covers by Dr. Dre or whoever contains a sample of Funkadelic or something. Then I went to the record store and bought myself some George Clinton records, right? And that's how I discovered like a whole history of music and so forth. And I think that is just one way of producing music. It's totally fine. You have to clear the samples if you want to make money off of that. But I think that, I see it also like that AI gives us more tools to produce great samples and all these kind of things. I do think it all depends on clarity of vision and then using the tools properly for the execution.
Yeah.
You can't replace the person who's using the tool,
Marty, something from you, my friend. I see you nodding over there.
Yeah. Do you think Jingles will make like a comeback? You think that's going to happen, or is it we're just moving in another direction and something else is going to take over in the future? Anybody?
I mean, I have a clear opinion, but I'd like to hear the others actually.
Turner, what do you think?
I don't know. So I'm wondering if Jingles and personal branding will come together in an interesting way, because I was thinking about when you said, if I wanted to make a song, like I wouldn't immediately go to AI. I'd probably start with what I can do. Like I can play guitar, I can play bass, I can sing. And then I would probably fill in the parts I couldn't do with some kind of generated thing, as opposed to trying to find someone and having to say, this is what I want and so on. But then I also was thinking if I was ever going to like play that live, I'd want people. Like I wouldn't be like, I'll program a bunch of computers. Personally, I wouldn't go. I would want bodies on a stage, because watching people in
perform
person is just better.
Yes,
it's just better.
Yes.
I saw the Chemical Brothers in 1996 or something, and it was really cool. But at the same time, I was like, this could have just been a CD, really. Like there was no two guys with laptops essentially, or maybe it was turntable. I can't remember anyway, but you know what I mean? Like the impression I had was like,
I've seen Chainsmokers live, I've seen Daft Punk live, right? And the Chainsmokers largely the same thing, right? A couple dudes, a couple business guys, actually, a couple business marketing guys behind the turntable and a DJ deck just playing some music. And you got Daft Punk with a couple helmets on their head on stage, right? enjoyable experiences, but very different than when you got a live band on stage, right? So
no risk or less risk.
Yes. Yeah. Marty, to your question, and coming up, guys, we're going to launch the song here in a few moments. James, I tend to have a point of view very similar to yours. Louderman and I have talked about this a little bit about personal branding and sonic branding and sonic sounding. And I know even myself, it's intriguing to me, right? Because I'm all about branding. And I know Marty and I talk about branding all the time. Like, I think the one element that I'm missing from the lab is that sonic branding. Right, that sonic sound, right? And I'm wondering what that sounds like. Louderman and I have talked a little bit about this offline, about what that sounds like, what it looks like, what it feels like. But there's something there, right? Because I've really focused on our brand, on visual, on contextual, on copy. Admittedly, we are missing out on the audio sonic representation of that. So it's very much intriguing to me. I think there is a future for it, frankly.
I hear your next project coming on, Chris.
I think I do as well.
I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
I mean, I think that's also one element that we could just slightly touch on is just music is obviously, historically speaking, a totally communal experience. Like,
yes.
That's so I can hardly think of anything as potent for community building efforts and so forth. So I could totally also, I know a guy who does like company anthems. That's like his niche. He goes out and like he goes to companies and then he, as the specialist, he writes the songs with the team, right? And then it's like when they go on a retreat or whatever, then he records them for the choirs and stuff like that. It's, I mean, he has his approach that I probably do a bit differently, but still, I mean, the idea is you create something together and you're in this moment and this space together, because also obviously historically, music was there 1 second, it was gone the next. Like if you stop strumming the guitar then or whatever, that's changed in the last 100 years. But still, I think there's that music is something communal, is a very deep thing for us. So I don't see that being replaced. Actually, on the contrary, I think that's obviously going to become more and more important as people feel more isolated and that kind of experience where
in many ways, Louderman, music might be the one last connector of humanity that we all can share together, right? Regardless of what race you are, what sex you are, what political opinion you have, we all enjoy a good song, right? And that one song can bring us all together. And that to me is the power of music, isn't it? And as long as, we as humans can keep focusing on the power of music, I think we can keep making, ideally, some inroads in kindness in society. So, man, we can talk music for a long time. What I'd like to hear your opinions on, and I want to run the song here in a moment, but this is idea of sampling old tunes, right? Like I'm fascinated right now about the relaunch of Marshall, the relaunch of Eminem. He's essentially just relaunched his career from 20 years ago. It's like, yeah, let's run a song from 20 years ago. Let's resample it and let's bring up vintage emotions from everybody from 20 years ago.
That's the point. That's exactly it. We all have, like, everyone who has a connection to Eminem has an emotional connection to the Slim Shady and the Marshall Mathers LPs, right? Those were the things that really shook people emotionally. Like that's exactly what he's doing. He's bringing up those emotions. There's this one producer that I know. He has a very tongue-in-cheek theory, but he always says the best song was always the one that you were touched to at the age of 16, by someone you wanted to be touched to, right? Because the height and the it sounds obviously a bit grotesque, but the point is the height of emotional like all emotions are like at an extreme at that point, right? With the hormones, with getting to know the other, what you're attracted, who you're attracted to, type of thing. With the music, like it's such an emotionally heightening experience that nothing can basically top that. Looking back, so to speak, that's why we always say the best songs were the songs that I listened to when 15, 16, 17 type of thing, right? That's
right. All right, we got one question from Robert Coe, and then we're going to throw the song on, guys. So Robert Coe asks the question for the panel this morning: do you think product placement could seep into music as it did in the movie industry in the 80s? Is it possible brands could approach acts to make deals?
Well, I mean, just look at rap music of the last 20 years and how much Dom Perrier or whatever's been,
Right.
or 40 ounces have been sold. I don't like, I mean, definitely. I mean, I'm sorry, guys, but it's so prevalent. I mean, that's why they all dropped their own liquors and, whatever.
Yes.
40 ounces is crazy.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? I mean,
I know what you're saying, but that was hilarious.
Oh,
so, it is completely there. To answer the question.
You're right, actually. And Robert, Chris Lauteman's right. For the last 20 years, rap music has actually been just 20 years of product placement, hasn't it? Really?
Definitely has been.
Yeah. Everybody out there. So, all right. So, hey, listen, without further ado, I think I got a message from Krasky. He's like, was waiting. Krasky was waiting for what? No, wait, did you guys see him in the waiting room?
That's crazy.
We're all just calling Krasky out. John,
Not in the waiting room, buddy.
John, we love you, man. We did not see you in the waiting room. So I don't know. So Louderman, Turner, we all got the same links. We all got the same links to show up here.
I didn't see him in the waiting room.
Yeah, you want to see if you can get him on there with him or tell him? I will drop the and while we're doing that, I'm going to he says I left the waiting room. Why you weren't in the waiting room, Krasky, because we were all there waiting for you. Oh, it's so funny. All right. So while we're doing that, I'm going to just quickly give him the links here. If he can jump in here, that's awesome. And then I'm going to throw some tunes on for all of us. And we are going to launch the song. Yesterday, what was it? The game was launched. We had the game launched on the platform, which was a lot of fun. But now, guys, we are going to launch the song. So let me give a second here. I'm going to throw up this here, and I'm going to throw up this here, and we're going to see if this works. So here we go. Introducing Odie Fans Forever. Mornings in the Lab. Here we go. You guys hear it? Oh.
Nope.
Nope.
It's different than I remember.
Okay, hold on. Then I think I got to do this. I got to go.
Just blame LinkedIn.
What's that?
Just blame LinkedIn.
Let's just blame LinkedIn. Yes, exactly. All right, so here we go, guys. We're going to do this. Jimmy, we're going to... Oh, look at this. Here he is. There's Krasky. Let's continue. This is awesome show this morning. So, hey, I'm going to launch this up here. We're going to do this here. And then, Jimmy, we're going to play the song right now, Nation. So here we go. The Odie song brought to you on Mornings in the Lab. Here we go.
Scrolling your phone when it sinks in.
You guys hear it?
No one's engaging with your LinkedIn. All alone. Your business tanks, and when you're not, all you get is an instant block. But it doesn't have to be that way. No, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. You could come and hang with the OTs. Big Odie shout out. John Krasky's crowd got the most clout with the OTs. We're hanging with the OTs, hanging with the OT fans. With the OTs, Big Odie shout out. John Krasky's crowd got the most clout with the OTs. We're hanging with the OTs, hanging with the OT fans.
Yeah. The echo. Oh my God.
Don't scroll, but all around. Pod monsters, you hold your ground. Don't like, don't interact. Don't give them what they don't give back. Big John posts, makes you smile. You add something in the comments, worthwhile, press repeat. And then you see. Soon you're surrounded by the real LinkedIn G's. With the OTs, Big Odie shout out. Joe Krasky's crowd.
Oh God, the echo is crazy.
All right, so there's the Odie song. I dropped it off there. Maybe there's some echoes there, but to those that were listening on the different channels, you guys got the full song. There was no echo for all you. I hear that. Krasky, come back on the show there, my friend. Woodhams, you want to text him back and tell him to come back on here? We'll wrap it up with him. But there is the Odie song, launched this morning. Christopher Lautemann, that was really good. That was really good.
Thank you.
Dude, that was absolutely exceptional. That was an exceptional song by Christopher Lautemann. John Krasky, welcome to the show this morning, my good friend. How are you this morning from Beverly Hills? Good to see you, pal. What's shaking today, buddy? Krasky, we love you, man. We got you out of bed last time. We got you out of bed today. I appreciate you, man. Yes. That's the songs. Nope. No. Oh,
Mish or Mish?
Yeah, John, you were all about making it smooth. You were like, I want it smooth. And yeah, that's what we did.
Oh, me too. Oh, can we be in a boy band together? That's it. That's so there, we just heard it clearly. Yeah, nope. Yeah. So listen, Nation, if you're tuning in on the vertical feed, we got John on the horizontal one though. So yes, so Torres, John, because John's on mobile right now, John's joined the horizontal feed, so you guys can check that over there. I apologize if you're on the vertical one. We got two feeds running here. It's a new thing we're doing here on the show. You'll be able to catch up all the stuff later. But John's revealing some pretty important stuff here on the horizontal feed here about. All right. So Krasky gave the ultimate productivity this last week. So John is now a productivity expert. He just sat down this week and said, hey, don't spend 2 hours creating a post when somebody just spends 2 seconds reading it. So John's like, hey, you could actually save 2 hours a day. He just saved his whole community 730 hours in 1 year with that one post. Oh
the
man.
power of LinkedIn. Yeah.
It's exceptional. I love how the Odie song came to life. And I went downtown. It's true. Yeah, I went downtown. One of the number. It is all about community.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wild. Yeah, it's That's good. So the Odie song is being released today. And Louderman, how can everybody get the Odie song today?
Apple Music, Spotify, it's everywhere. Wherever you stream music, type in John.
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
So I just want to make sure I'm clear on this too. So Krasky and Bilous are looking to get paid somewhere along the way here. We got our Amexes building up here. Like we're going to get proceeds to pay our Amex off with the song, right, Louderman?
Of course, everyone's going to be balling next week. Like no. Yeah. You have to register with your local PRO, and then you'll be rich. That's all it takes.
Then you'll be rich. Yeah, from the
allegedly. I have to legal disclaimer. Allegedly.
Oh, there we go. Well, listen, we're wrapping up the show. John, I want to thank you for joining in, my friend. I know it's early over there, and you're a great sport for always engaging. And let's. I know. Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks, John, for joining us today, my friend. You have a good lift. You missed, Marty talked about getting a good lift in today, man. Put some music in your ears, get your good strength lift in, and get your shat done, my friend. We'll see you in the feeds, okay, Krasky? All right, pal. We'll see you later. All right, guys, so we're going to quickly wrap up and say goodbye. Krasky's left the building. We are going to go around the table and say goodbye. I had a lot of fun, guys. Friday, Flow Fridays. I posted a good video clip last Friday on Flow Fridays, and it's all about just throwing the flow out, right? So if you guys want to throw the float on a Friday, we should all do that on a Friday. Just bring the float, let it fly. We're gonna get Marty to bring the flow out. We're gonna work on Achim to bring the flow out because I know he's got flow there, and we're gonna get James to get that flow coming out. And Woodhams, dude, in 1 year from now, we're gonna do Flow Fridays with you. Mr. The flow there. All right, well, listen, let's wrap it up, guys. I want to thank everybody for joining here today. So, Achim, let's go on the table, man. Thanks for coming in today, pal. What do you got going on the weekend? Long weekend here in Canada. I forgot about it until yesterday. My kids were like, yeah, I'm going to town this weekend. I'm like, oh, what's going on this weekend? Like, Dad, it's July 1st. I'm like, oh, right. I'm an entrepreneur. I forgot what day it was. Achim, what do you got going on, pal?
Well, for Canada Day, I'm going to go down to the local amphitheater because the Sheepdogs are playing, and I love those guys.
There you go.
I'm going to see my dad, and then going to go for a motorcycle ride on Sunday.
Beautiful. Well, thanks for jumping in, Achim. You're an awesome man. You've been here a couple times this week, and as I always say, as a guest, always a friend. Turner, what do you got going on today, pal? My New Brunswick. Hey, we got Canada representing today.
Yeah,
we got Middle, we got East Coast and West Coast. Hey, guys, everybody in the world talks about these Canadian artists. All these Canadian celebs and artists, and you got 3 of them on the line right now. You got Turner, Achim, and Bilous. Louderman, I'm telling you, man, Canada's taking over the world. But Turner, what do you got going on today and this weekend, pal?
I'm just going to take it easy. Going to a community pancake breakfast tomorrow,
nice.
Which I'm really excited about. That's going to be really nice.
Good for you.
Good small scale stuff like that.
Wonderful.
And I also forgot it was a long weekend. I always forget. Always.
Yes, exactly. Louderman, what do you got going on today, pal? I appreciate you. I appreciate all the work you've put into the Odie song. You know, you deserve a massive applause, man. I know you put a lot of time into this. You got a family, you got work, you got a lot of things going on, but you found the time to juggle this in to have some fun for the community. So I just want to make sure we publicly call you out. But what do you got going on, Louderman?
Well, I want to thank also James and Achim and Paulette and everyone else who was involved, because it was just so much fun to do it with you guys. So yeah, thanks, guys. And I mean, I had a bass line in there, but James just made it so much better. So thanks for that, man. And Achim, your guitars were just beautiful. I love them in the second verse when you just it's wonderful. So thanks. You definitely improved. I think a good song you made great. So thanks. Yeah, I'll be hanging with the family this evening. Probably I want to watch Chicken Run too. So that sounds like a good thing to do.
Nice.
And yeah, tomorrow I'm going to a friend's baptism.
Nice.
Their child's going baptized. So yep,
Nice.
It's going to be a nice weekend.
Awesome. Marty, I know you got some stuff busting this weekend. What do you got going on today, pal? You got some clients that you're meeting with later today?
No, I'm done for the day.
Nice.
Podcast.
There's this.
Yeah, podcast later tonight, and then I don't know if y'all are familiar with Ice Cube's basketball league. They're in Baltimore this weekend, so I'm gonna probably go to that. Nice. I used to train one of the announcers, so I'm gonna go link up with him. So
very cool. Well, that's really cool. That's really cool, actually.
You have to bump the Odie song on the courts.
I'll ask.
Do it, man.
You really do.
Yeah, no promises, but I'll see what I can do.
Give it a go.
Dude, you can pretend it's like the 1980s, and I can ship you my old Toshiba Ghetto Blaster, and you could walk to the courts with it on your shoulder, and you could just be blaring out the good old Odie song the whole time. Nope. Oh. Yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Hey, listen, I appreciate all of you. I had a lot of fun having you guys on the show today. I thought we had a great show, a lot of fun. What's that?
Thomas?
What about Tom?
Oh, I don't want to talk about Thomas. No, Thomas is too busy. I don't know what Thomas is going on. I'm just kidding. I can see Thomas there. He's looking at me like, no, I'm just going to ignore Thomas. No, I saw Thomas sitting there. I show love through jesting. Like I was walking down the driveway yesterday. My idea in my head, I got to talk to Thomas. I kid aside. Woodhams, what do you got going on this weekend, pal? Oh, like the Bee Gees. Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
%. Well said.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Well said, Woodhams. I agree with you. I'm thoroughly enjoying the human connection happening on the platform right now. I can see it. I can feel it. I'm connecting with some really wonderful humans along the way, and it's been a really exceptional experience. It really is. Yeah, it really is. And this song has really been a connector, and I appreciate all of you. I really do. And Woodhams, you were in my last quadrant here on the corner. So I went around the corner and I was like, all right, I'll pull Woodhams up and get him the last word here. So I appreciate you, Thomas. I appreciate you, James. I appreciate you, Louderman. I appreciate you, Achim, and I appreciate you, Marty, my friend. And Nation, I appreciate all of you. We had a wonderful audience today. We had a lot of you tuning in today. So I'm very, very grateful. I know Marty's very grateful. We are working on creating the world's biggest talk show here on LinkedIn, YouTube, and we're doing it every single morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. We go for an hour. Clearly, we're adding more hours and minutes to our show as the days go on, and we're having a lot of fun doing that. We dropped the Odie song today, and next week, we got a bunch of other topics and conversations happening, and I think one of them, Keith and CMarty might put on the table, and it relates to today. Can you effectively collaborate and create good content remotely? I think we all know the answer to that one with today's Odie. So we're going to leave that on the table. We're going to come back to that. Nation, I invite you to follow me on LinkedIn, Keith Bilous, follow Christopher Martin on LinkedIn, Achim, Thomas Woodhams, James Turner, Christopher Lautemann. We're all on LinkedIn. You can find us all across the platforms. You guys all have a great weekend. Guys, hang tight in the green room for a quick second while we say goodbye, and I'm going to say goodbye to Nation. See you guys all later, all right? Ciao.
Ciao.
End the stream.